All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Robbie1 Kenobi, and these are my predictions for WWE Money in the Bank 2016, which is live this Sunday on the WWE Network. Now, they're hyping this thing up as the greatest Money in the Bank pay-per-view in history. Honestly, guys, when you look at the triple main event that you have, and then you look at the rest of the card, I wouldn't necessarily say this is the greatest Money in the Bank ladder match. The undercard doesn't make me really want to see this show. Of course, I'm going to watch it because it's on the WWE Network. You know, $9.99 is not a bad deal. I wouldn't say this is the greatest Money in the Bank pay-per-view in history. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be a bad pay-per-view. They can still be a good to really good show, depending on how all the matches go and whatnot. But without any further ado, let's get right down to the predictions. Let's start off with the kickoff show. There's 2 kickoff matches instead of 1 this time. First up, Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin for the umpteenth time. Baron Corbin is my prediction. This freaking feud needs to end. It is ridiculous. It's pointless. This is going to be the 3rd straight kickoff match they've had against each other. Baron Corbin needs to win this and move on. So my prediction is Baron Corbin. I don't want to waste any more time talking about this, because what is there left to say? Baron Corbin to win. The second kickoff match is Apollo Crews versus Sheamus. This can be a good match. I would have to go with Apollo Crews because, of course, he was one of the new stars that arrived on the main roster. Why does Sheamus really need a win over Apollo Crews? If WWE wants to establish Apollo Crews as one of their new top stars, well, have him be a former world champion like Sheamus. You know, I can see Apollo doing great things as Intercontinental Champion or United States Champion, whichever championship he wins, depending on where he gets drafted to with the brand split. But yeah, you know, I don't really see a reason for Sheamus to win. I mean, yeah, he was in the new Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows movie, which I saw, and I actually thought he did well. I thought he did a fine job as Rocksteady. But yeah, I mean, I really just see Apollo Crews needing this win because he hasn't really done much since arriving on the main roster. I haven't really seen him on TV in the past couple weeks. 2 or 3 weeks, whatever. So yeah, my prediction for that match is Apollo Crews. Like I said, I don't see why Sheamus would need to win this match. I see Apollo winning. I could see him fighting for the Intercontinental or United States Championship at SummerSlam if WWE continues to keep building him and building him strong, of course. Yeah, so Apollo Crews is my prediction to win. Moving on, to the main show, we have Rusev with the lovely Lana, of course, defending his United States Championship against Titus O'Neil. I like Titus O'Neil, but I don't see him winning the United States Championship. If Titus wins, it's probably going to be by DQ or countout. I mean, I could see it happening. I could see Titus winning by DQ or countout, and then they have a rematch at Battleground where Shane implements a stipulation where if Rusev gets counted out or disqualified, he loses the United States Championship, and Rusev will still find a way to win. I like Titus O'Neil. I've thought for a while now that they could push him as a good big man. He could be like a good mid-card big man, if that makes sense. I could see him winning the United States Championship, maybe the Intercontinental Championship, but I don't see him winning the United States Championship Sunday night against Rusev. And I gotta go off something that the Lex Man said. This is pretty much WWE's way of saying, you know, we're sorry, Titus, for the suspension and that controversy. They granted him a title shot, granted for the United States Championship. But yeah, I see Rusev retaining the championship. And after that, honestly, like, if Rusev and Apollo Crews are on the same show, they're on the same brand, then I could see Rusev and Apollo fighting for the United States Championship at SummerSlam. That could be a good match, and that could be a good way to take the title off Rusev in the sense of give it to Apollo. But for now, I pick Rusev to retain championship. Next, we have a women's tag team match, Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Becky Lynch. This is basically a filler match until, of course, they start the build for Charlotte versus Sasha at SummerSlam. I got to go with Natalya and Becky Lynch because I don't really see a loss in this match hurting Charlotte. I could honestly see Becky and Natalya winning, and then at Battleground, we could probably do a triple threat match for the Women's Championship. You know, Charlotte, since cutting that promo where she, I don't want to say disowned her father, but where she like kicked her father to the curb. We were seeing this monster come out of Charlotte, and then it died down a little bit that week when Stephanie pretty much gave her a tongue lashing backstage. But we got to see a little bit more, a little of that monster come back on Monday night when Charlotte lost the match to Paige. She was, you know, giving Dana Brooke a tongue lashing. I like this kind of ego that's oozing out of Charlotte. They should stick with that. But like I said, guys, I don't really see a loss in a tag match, of all things, hurting Charlotte. So either she's gonna take the pin or Dana Brooke's gonna take the pin. And then, like I said, I could see a Battleground, it being a triple threat match, you know, Charlotte versus Becky versus Natalya, or they could probably do a fatal four-way, Charlotte versus Becky versus Dana versus Natalya. And then, yeah, I have to also consider that Paige pinned the women's champion on Raw. She pinned Charlotte. So does Paige get a future women's title shot? Maybe that'll happen at Battleground. But, yeah, like I said, this women's tag team match is mainly filler. And it's because, you know, they're saving off for when Sasha Banks finally returns. And we kick off the Sasha versus Charlotte feud for SummerSlam, where hopefully Charlotte will finally annex, where hopefully Sasha will finally annex Charlotte of the Women's Championship. But my prediction is Charlotte and Becky Lynch to win. Next, we have the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Tag Team Championships. The New Day defending against the Vaudevillains, Enzo, Amore, and Big Cass, and Karl Anderson, and Luke Gallows. This match, so I'm going to narrow the playing field right here. Vaudevillains, they're not winning the championships. Enzo and Big Cass, I love them. They deserve tag team championship glory, but they're not going to win. So it comes down to either the New Day or Anderson and Gallows. Now, they brought up on Raw that the New Day are about a month away from either tying or breaking Brian Kendrick and Paul London's tag team championship record for, like, I forgot, 300-something days. And, you know, that would have to convince you that WWE is going to keep the straps on the New Day until they break the record, and then drop them to, you have to assume at this point, Anderson and Gallows. So there's that part of me that thinks New Day is going to retain, but then there's part of me that thinks it's time to give Anderson and Gallows the championships, because you could have this be a hell of a night for the club. You know, you could have Anderson and Gallows win the tag team championships, and then, of course, the dream match, which I'm going to get to right after this, literally, you could have AJ Styles conquer John Cena. So for this one, I might give you a prediction and then my personal pick. Because like I said, if New Day lose the tag team titles to Anderson and Gallows here, I have no problem with it, because New Day have been great tag team champions, you know, ever since winning the belts. Ever since winning the belts the first time in Extreme Rules and then winning them back at SummerSlam and going on this, you know, long title reign. Which, by the way, guys, they should have never lost the championships at last year's Money in the Bank to the Primetime Players. They should have just been year-long tag team champions. But like I said, if WWE plans to have New Day break London and Kendrick's record, then New Day is going to retain. But if not, then they're going to give the championships to Anderson and Gallows. Because to me personally, if Anderson and Gallows win the championship at SummerSlam, that would be a little bigger. Being Brooklyn, you know, that crowd would most likely be pro Anderson and Gallows than New Day. But I'm not against Anderson and Gallows winning the championships Sunday night at Money in the Bank. But to go with my prediction, because I got a feeling they'll just have New Day break the record, I'm going to go with the New Day to retain, but I'll personally be rooting for, well, no. I'll put it to you like this. I want Anderson and Gallows to win, but if New Day retains, I won't have a problem with that. I understand why, because WWE wants them to break the record. No problem with that. But if they do retain, I see Anderson and Gallows knocking them off either at Battleground or SummerSlam. So my prediction is the New Day to retain the titles. All right, so about 8 minutes into this video, now we're getting to the big 3 matches on this card, the triple main event. And as you notice, guys, I haven't really talked much in detail about the other matches other than the tag team title match. But now I'm going to get into detail about these 3 matches. the triple main event. 3 matches I am really excited for Sunday night at Money in the Bank. Let's kick it off with the dream match. 15 years in the making, John Cena versus AJ Styles. I'm really excited for this match, guys. I think of the three main event matches on this card, this is the one I'm the most looking forward to because I'm very interested in seeing how this plays out. I said in my video about, this match shortly after Cena got attacked by AJ and AJ turned heel. I said in that video that this is pretty much like the Kevin Owens situation from last year. When Owens came in, he made a statement off Cena's name, or however that saying is. He beat Cena at Elimination Chamber. He beat him clean, keep that in mind. Then he went on to feud with Cena 2 more times. They had 2 more matches, and Cena beat him those 2 matches straight. That's what I'm concerned about. That's going to be the same thing over again with AJ. AJ Styles needs to win this match badly. He has not won a pay-per-view match since Fastlane when he beat Chris Jericho. And since then, he's lost 3 straight. He needs this win badly. He has to beat John Cena. And he has to beat John Cena pretty much on his own. We'll keep this in mind, too. The contract signing they had on Monday night, I like that segment, and they took a different route with contract signing. Cena had 2 contracts, which basically said they were basically for 2 different matches. John Cena versus AJ Styles, or John Cena versus AJ Styles and the club. And Cena basically said, you sign this contract for the match between you and me with the club, you're pretty much burying yourself, kid. You sign this contract for you and me one-on-one, you have a chance to make a name for yourself. And that was great, because AJ had to question himself. It was that question, can AJ Styles beat John Cena on his own? If he has the Bullet Club with him, that'll taint his reputation. He'll pretty much bury himself because he needed his cronies, Anderson and Gallows, to help him beat Cena. So now the stakes are high. But if AJ beats Cena, if he beats him dirty, it's either going to be with some kind of cheap tactic or he's going to have help from somebody else. Because keep in mind, the contract said John Cena versus AJ Styles without the club involved. But it never said someone else outside the club could get involved. Case in point, Finn Balor. If this is Finn's time to finally arrive on the main roster. But based on what I saw in NXT last night, I don't think Finn's going to turn heel and join the club. I don't think he's going to help AJ beat Cena. So could we be getting a new member to the club? And this is kind of what's that word? This would be like a long shot, but what about Kenny Omega? Or are the Young Bucks going to surprisingly show up at Money in the Bank? Who knows? But in my opinion, guys, AJ Styles needs to win this match. He needs to win it big time because, like I said, he's lost 3 straight pay-per-view matches in a row. He loses the 4th, he's going to be in serious jeopardy. And honestly, like I said, this is probably going to play out like the Owens feud. AJ will most likely win this. He's going to most likely win Sunday night at Money in the Bank. He's going to have a rematch with Cena. He's going to lose that rematch. And then they're going to have another match at SummerSlam. And AJ's going to most likely lose that one. And I hate it. It's because, it's like John Cena is known for beating and derailing the younger talent. And when AJ Styles came out that one night on Raw, and he said the reason he's got Anderson and Gallows is because guys like Cena bury guys like them. And they're there to keep AJ's head above ground. That was freaking awesome. That was one hell of a shot at Cena. And it's the truth, unfortunately. Cena has derailed and buried younger talent in the past when the younger talent could have benefited from beating him. WWE is so obsessed with protecting Cena. It just gets irritating. It just gets irritating, guys. So, as far as a prediction, my prediction is AJ Styles to beat John Cena. AJ needs to beat Cena. He needs this win big time. And honestly, with this feud, I had one crazy idea in my head how this feud could progress from here. You could have John Cena go for the United States Championship against Rusev, and you could actually have AJ Styles cost Rusev the United States Championship. You could have AJ help Cena win the championship, then AJ blindside Cena again, and you could do a feud for the United States Championship. I mean, Cena doesn't really need to hold that championship for as long as he did like last year. And don't get me wrong, he brought a lot of prestige back to the United States Championship when he was a champ. But one way you can really up this feud or add more fuel to this feud is, I mean, this is my own personal opinion, you know. You could have Cena beat Rusev for the United States Championship with AJ's help, and then AJ goes after the championship. And if they do the rematch at Battleground, Cena will most likely win. But if they do the rematch, they do it at SummerSlam, AJ would need to win that too. You know, how huge would that be for AJ in the Barclays Center to beat John Cena for the United States Championship? Just saying. I'm not trying to stray away from this match, but my prediction for Sunday at Money in the Bank in the Dream Match is John Cena to fall to AJ Styles. I'm picking AJ to win one way or another. By hook or crook, I'm picking AJ to win. AJ needs to win. And with this feud, they'll do the rematch at Battleground, I know. And Cena will get his win back because you know Cena has to get his win back in a rematch. And then they'll most likely have a rematch they'll have the rubber match at SummerSlam where Cena will most likely win. But honestly, AJ should win the feud. AJ should win the rubber match. He should come out on top of the feud. Because if anyone could benefit from knocking off John Cena in a major feud, it is AJ Styles. Because AJ Styles isn't going to be wrestling for that much longer. You know? And I had one more thing I wanted to say about this feud real quick. Oh, yeah, I want to say one more thing. Cena on Raw, before the contract signing, said that for 15 years we've been debating who was the better man, John Cena or AJ Styles. Well, for real, to be honest, these two guys were not at the top of their game in 2001. So we weren't clamoring for this for 15 years. Yes, 15 years in the making, considering they started off as newcomers and they built their way to the top of their respective companies. But it wasn't like 15 years ago they were at the top of their game and we were clamoring for this match. Yeah, I would say this is a match that we started clamoring for this maybe 7, 8, 9 years ago. But I wouldn't say 15 years ago we started clamoring for this match, like Cena said at the start of the contract signing. But nonetheless, I pick AJ Styles to win. He needs to win and knock off John Cena in this match. He's going to do it by hook or crook. We may get a new member of the club, but my prediction is AJ to win. He needs this win. Let the feud continue. But if they're going to do a rematch at Battleground, it needs better build. Do not do like what they did at Elimination Chamber after Cena lost to Kevin Owens, and that same night just immediately announced a rematch because it was so great the first time. We're going to do the rematch right away. You know what? Actually, before I move on to the next match, do this. AJ beats Cena. They don't touch each other again until SummerSlam. You want to build to a rematch, build to it at SummerSlam. If you want an AJ Styles John Cena filler match, what you could do at Battleground is AJ in the club versus Cena and two partners of his choice. Have AJ get the win there, and then do the rematch at SummerSlam. And with bigger stakes. Maybe Cena wins the United States Championship by then, and Cena and AJ clash for the title. But do not do it right away at Battleground. But knowing WWE, they're going to do that. But anyway, guys, my prediction, because I got 2 more matches to discuss, is AJ Styles to conquer John Cena. By hook or crook, he's going to do it. AJ needs to win, and then we'll go on to the rematches and deal with them when we cross those bridges. But AJ Styles is my prediction to win. All right, guys. Next up, the Money in the Bank ladder match. Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho versus Cesaro versus Alberto Del Rio. Right off the bat, this is one hell of a stacked Money in the Bank ladder match. Probably the most stacked Money in the Bank ladder match in recent years. Now, Jericho and Del Rio Scratch their names off the list. They're not going to win this match. Like I said in my video with Daniel, the video I did with Daniel Gaiza, I wouldn't mind if any of the remaining 4 won this match. It was supposed to be a 7-man match, and we were hoping that Bray Wyatt would finally return, preferably Monday Night on Raw at the end of the show. He didn't, so it's a 6-man Money in the Bank ladder match. And then if you guys saw my video about Balor showing up and being in the Money in the Bank ladder match, that might still happen, but if they're going with 6, Balor's not going to show up. So we've got 6 men. Narrow it down to 4 because I don't see Del Rio or Jericho winning this. They honestly don't need to win this. Of the remaining 4, I would love for them all to win. But there can only be one Mr. Money in the Bank. And it comes down to these 2. Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens. And I love Ambrose, but I don't know. To me, if Dean Ambrose wins the Money in the Bank briefcase, he's not going to hold that title for long. Or not the title. He's not going to hold the briefcase for long. The way I see it, if he wins Money in the Bank Sunday night, he'll most likely cash in during the main event. Either during the match, after the match, he'll cash in, and he'll most likely win the championship. I'll get more to that in the main event. But what I'm seeing is, like I said, if Ambrose wins, I really don't see him holding that briefcase for long. I could see him cashing in that same night after winning the briefcase. Owens, on the other hand, if Owens wins, I could see him being Mr. Money in the Bank for a few months. And of course, he's still embroiled in the rivalry with Sami Zayn. And they could do some great things feuding over that briefcase. You know, when Ambrose and Seth Rollins were feuding when they were feuding, I forgot if the Money in the Bank briefcase even played a role in that feud, if like they feuded over it. But you know, that wasn't really, no, I don't really think they feud over the briefcase. But that was still an awesome feud back in 2014. But with Owens and Zayn, I could see them feuding for the briefcase. You know, I could see that happening. And then to work off of something that the Lex Man predicted, this crazy fantasy scenario, could you guys imagine if Sami Zayn was to win the championship by the end of this year, and Kevin Owens managed to cash in on Sami Zayn and steal the championship from him, just like he did at NXT TakeOver Rival? Oh my God. That would raise the stakes in their feud, and that would really add a lot of fuel to the fire. If Kevin Owens wins Money in the Bank, he's guaranteed to be the champion. And I can't wait to see it. So now this comes down to my prediction. Who do I see walking out as Mr. Money in the Bank? It's obvious if Ambrose wins, we get a Shield triple threat. If Owens wins, who knows when he's cashing in. So my prediction is, when I consider all the options and I consider the booking and whatnot, my prediction for this Sunday at Money in the Bank in the ladder match, I got to go with Kevin Owens. I love Dean Ambrose, but I think Kevin Owens would be a better Mr. Money in the Bank. I could see Kevin Owens doing lots of great things with that briefcase. And I mean, it's obvious. You cash in the briefcase for a title shot. It's real simple. But you want to build Owens as a strong Mr. Money in the Bank, as a great Mr. Money in the Bank. Keep having him feud with Zayn. I would love if every once in a while Owens had to defend his briefcase and come out on top. Because how many Mr. Money in the Bank winners do you know that had to defend their Money in the Bank briefcases in matches? And to my knowledge, only 2. RVD did it at Backlash 2006 against Shelton Benjamin. Dolph Ziggler did it twice in 2012 against Jericho at SummerSlam and Cena at TLC. How awesome would it be to have Kevin Owens defend that briefcase maybe like 3-4 times this year in different matches? That would be awesome. And he wins them all. That would further bring prestige to the title of Mr. Money in the Bank. So my prediction is Kevin Owens to win. If Dean Ambrose wins, I have no problem with that. I'm going to talk more about that when I get to the main event, but Kevin Owens is my prediction to win. I can see him being a great Mr. Money in the Bank. This match is just going to be kick-ass. I mean, you got Owens and Zayn in it, and remember what they did in the ladder match at WrestleMania 32. and that famous ladder war they had back in ROH. And you got Cesaro, you got Del Rio, Jericho, and Ambrose. A stacked roster. And this, honestly, guys, is going to be a hell of a match. This could be the best Money in the Bank ladder match in recent years. So I'm excited. And my prediction is Kevin Owens. And to wrap this video up, guys, my final prediction for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. The champion, Roman Reigns, the guy, versus Seth Rollins. Mr. Redesign, Rebuild, Reclaim. This has been 2 years in the making. They had a match on Raw, I believe, in September of 2014. And then they were supposed to meet at Night of Champions that week. And Reigns got hurt. He suffered the abdominal injury, whatever that was. And then they were supposed to meet for the championship at Survivor Series back in November. And Rollins had that freak injury, and he had to forfeit the championship. So now we finally get the match that we were supposed to get that has been building for 2 years. Because remember, this has been building since Rollins betrayed the Shield, since he broke the Shield. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. We finally get the match that we were supposed to get 2 years ago. They brought it up. Ambrose briefly brought it up. This has been 2 years in the making, and I'm happy that they did. That they brought that up. And now it comes down to who is the man. You've got Roman Reigns, who's been a 3-time champion within the span of November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. It's about 8 months. He's won 3 world championships in the span of 8 months. And then you have Seth Rollins, who never lost the championship. He had to forfeit it due to injury. So this ultimately comes down to truly who is the better man. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. I'm sure this will be a hell of a match between these guys. This is Rollins' first match back from injury. And it's going to come down to, honestly, who's the better man, like I said. You know, Roman wants to see what kind of a man Seth really is when it's one-on-one. Because he's brought up the fact that Seth has always sabotaged him from behind. Be it the night that the Shield split apart, or when Seth cashed in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 31 and pinned Roman to win the championship. Seth Rollins has had Roman Reigns' number multiple times. And that honestly has to have lit a fire under Roman Reigns, because this guy has always been 1 or 2 steps ahead of him. So now for Roman Reigns, this is vindication and redemption. And like I said, I'm expecting this to be a hell of a match. And now, like I said, it comes down to my prediction. Who do I think is walking out as champion? Well, like I said, if Dean Ambrose wins Money in the Bank, I expect him to cash in during this match, either during the match or at the end of the match. And if he cashes in, I'm expecting him to walk out champion. How I would do it, how I would book the Shield triple threat, excuse me, is I would have Dean Ambrose come out, cash in at the end of the match, and I would have him hit Seth Rollins with I'd have him hit either Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns with dirty deeds. I have it look like Rollins is gonna win the match, and then out comes Ambrose. I have Ambrose lay them both out with dirty deeds, and I have Ambrose pin Roman Reigns for the championship, making Roman the only guy to have a briefcase cashed in on him 3 times. And then I'd have them both come out, Roman and Seth, the next night, and demand they get a rematch and express why they got screwed, you know, express their frustration over getting screwed out of the championship. And then I would have Shane McMahon making the more contenders match for either that night on Raw, the next week on Raw, or for Battleground, where there must be a decisive winner. Seth Rollins, no, screw that. I would have them do a number 1 contenders match the next night on Raw, and I'd have Seth Rollins go over. And I'd have Roman Reigns just tease a heel turn. You just see this anger and frustration in that he once again got screwed out of a shot at being champion. And then at Battleground, do Ambrose versus Rollins for the championship, have them go a good 20 minutes, and then have Roman Reigns come out and have Roman Reigns just go ballistic and beat the hell out of both of them. Have the match end in a no contest, and then the following night on Raw, you can have them build toward the triple threat at SummerSlam, or have Shane announce that they're going to do a triple threat for the title at SummerSlam. That's how I would personally book it. But my prediction is based on my prediction is based on if Ambrose doesn't win the championship or win Money in the Bank. If that's the case, Roman Reigns is walking out champion because you know WWE is going to want them. It's going to want him to hold the championship till probably SummerSlam. So should Dean Ambrose not win Money in the Bank? My prediction is Roman Reigns to retain the championship. Well, here's my final prediction. Roman Reigns to retain over Seth Rollins. Now, if Ambrose wins, like I said, I believe he'll cash in that same night. And he'll most likely win the championship. And from there, you can start building towards the Shield triple threat. I like the way I would book it. I like it because you don't right away go into the triple threat. You could do Roman and Rollins. You can have Ambrose cash in and win. Roman and Rollins have a rematch the next night on Raw to determine a sole #1 contender. Rollins wins. Roman's pissed. And then at Battleground, you know what? We don't even see Roman Reigns for the next few weeks until Battleground. And then during the match between Ambrose and Rollins for the title, Roman comes out, turns full heel, kicks the crap out of both those guys, beats the shit out of them, and then holds the championship up high and declares his contention for the title once more. And then, there you go. You have a triple threat for SummerSlam. The Shield triple threat is finally set. But like I said, guys, my final prediction for this match is Roman Reigns to retain the championship. I'm sure this will be a hell of a match. I hope this match delivers, and I pray to God none of them get hurt, and this match has to be called off. But if Dean Ambrose wins Money in the Bank, believe he's going to cash in. And Jeff Meacham brought up a point that if Ambrose cashes in, there's a chance he might not successfully cash in. He might not win. But if Ambrose cashes in, he needs to win the title if he cashes in. Then you can do your Shield triple threat and go from there. But my prediction, guys, is Roman Reigns to retain. But like I said, if Ambrose wins Money in the Bank and he cashes in, I got a feeling he's walking out champion. And honestly, he should walk out champion because if WWE has Roman Reigns beat him when he cashes in, oh, there's going to be backlash from the fans. But yeah, my prediction, Roman to defeat Seth and retain the championship. If Ambrose wins Money in the Bank, cashes in, he's walking out champion. So that'll do it, guys, for my Money in the Bank 2016 predictions video. Thank you guys for watching and listening. And to sum up, my predictions are for the kickoff show, Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews to win their respective matches. And then on the main card, my predictions are Rusev to retain the United States Championship, Natalya and Becky Lynch to beat Charlotte and Dana Brooke, New Day to retain their tag team championships, AJ Styles to conquer John Cena, Kevin Owens to walk out Mr. Money in the Bank, and Roman Reigns to retain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So thanks as always, guys, for watching and listening. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of my predictions. Leave your predictions for Money in the Bank. Do you see whoever wins the Money in the Bank briefcase cashing in that same night and walking out as champion? Do you see them teasing a cash in at SummerSlam or saving the cash in for another night? So thanks as always for watching and listening, guys. It's Rob Kenobi signing off. Have a good day. Catch y'all later.